Hello and welcome back to the Chapter 2 part of the final review questions for Math 100B. We're going to go through these questions that are over some topics in Chapter 2. Number 11 is a solve equation problem. We're going to start by simplifying what's already there. So we're going to distribute this -5. 2 minus 5x minus 25 equals, and then we can distribute the 3 on the other side, 3x minus 6 minus 1. So distributed, now we can combine like terms. We have 2 constants on the left and 2 constants on the right. So on the left-hand side of our equation, 2 minus 25 is negative 23. On the right-hand side, we have 3x minus 7. Now we'll start collecting x's on the same side and constants on the other. Oh, my x didn't work over there. Close enough. We have now negative 23, negative 8x, and negative 7. We'll add 23 to both sides. We have negative 8x equals positive 16. Divide both sides by negative 8. And x equals, on this one, negative 2. Now if you want, you can plug that back in. You should get a true statement as long as you plug it in everywhere x shows up. Number 12 has some fractions involved. One way to get rid of those fractions is to get a common denominator for each one. Right now we have 5/3, 2/3 x, and 6. I'm going to go ahead and put that as 6 over 1. I'm going to get a common denominator so they all have a 3. So my new equation is 5/3 plus 2/3 x equals 18/3. Now I'm going to multiply each one by 3 to get rid of those denominators. So I'm left with 5 plus 2x equals 18. Subtract 5 from each side. Bring this up here. 2x equals positive 13. Divide both sides by 2. And we'll have a fraction answer. If you want to change that to a decimal, you can. In your calculator, it would be 6.5, and you can write that either way. Number 13, I'm going to clear this up a little bit so we can see it better. Number 13 is again like number 11. I'm going to start by distributing. The left side's already simplified enough. Over here, I have 5x, distribute the negative 10. So I have negative 10x and minus 10. Negative 5x plus 7 on the left still, combining like terms on the right. Negative 5x again, minus 10. Now if I start getting my x's on one side, something interesting will happen. I'll get 7 equals negative 10, which definitely is not true. So because I came up with something that is never true, this is an example of no solution. There's no solution to that equation. Number 14 is an inequality. It's a little bit different than an equation, but I'm going to continue to solve it in the same way. I'm going to subtract 7x so I can get all my x's on one side. That's negative 1x minus 10. Add 10 to both sides. And I have negative x is less than or equal to positive 15. Now whenever you divide by a negative number in an inequality, we're going to divide by negative 1. You have to flip the direction of the inequality. So we'll divide by negative 1. Sorry, that's not working to write over the other problem. So I have positive x, switch the direction of the inequality. So it's now greater than or equal to negative 15. That one. Here's what it was before. There you go. All right, now 15, 16, 17, and 18, we're going to start getting the ones with a few more words in them, some word problems. We're going to start with just simple percentages on number 15. It says 2, I'm just going to translate it right here, is what percent, so I'm going to put a question mark, you can put a variable if you want, of 40. So we'll divide by 40 both sides. That's going to give you a decimal that will change back to a percentage. So there's my question mark. 0.05 as a decimal is 5% as a percentage. You just move that decimal twice, so times it by 100. There you go, 5%. 2 is 5% of 40. Number 16 says solve for C in this following equation. X equals A plus B plus C, all divided by 3. So let's write that. And remember what this means is I want a new formula. In my formula, I'll have just C equals in the answer. So let's start where it's at to get kind of like, kind of like on number 12, I'm going to get rid of that 3 first by timesing everything by 3. Over on the right, those will cancel. I'm left with 3x equals A plus B plus C. And I need to get rid of both the A and the B to get C by itself, so I'm just going to subtract those both from both sides. If you want to do one at a time, you can. My final answer will be C equals 3x minus A minus B. Another way you could write that is if you put them over at the same time, the A and the B, either one of those would be correct. You can write it either way. Let's go ahead and scroll down. We have our 2 word problems down here at the bottom. Number 17 says Celine wants to buy a paddleboard for $468. The tax will be 8%. How much will she pay total? So we have an original amount and we're going to add to it a certain percentage. In this case it'll be 8% times the original amount gives me a final amount. There's some formulas like this in the book, but I'm just going to use the words original and final. So my original amount, I know it for this problem, is 468. My percentage of tax will be 0.08, changing it to a decimal, times 468, my original, and then I'm going to use those to find my final price. So just typing in the calculator, 0.08 times 468, this part right here, gives me $37.44 of just tax. And I'm going to add that to 468, just using the calculator again. I get $505.44 as the final price for that paddleboard. There's other ways to find that answer as well. That's just one way using that formula. Number 18 says the interior angles of a certain triangle have the following relationship. Okay, we got to draw a picture. Go with this one. We got a little triangle. I'm going to name these angles A, B, and C. A is my first, B is my second, and C is my third. All right, the second angle, so we're talking about B here, B is 3 times, so we're going to multiply the first angle, which was A, and the third angle, which we called C, is 15 less, so I'm going to subtract it off of the first angle, which was A. Find the measure of all 3 angles. So we got to find A and B and C. And what they don't tell you in that problem, something you should already have memorized, is the sum of all interior angles of a triangle is always 180 degrees, no matter the size of the triangle. So we got A plus B plus C. That gives me 180 degrees. So I'm going to plug in what I know about the other angles. A is just A. B, we said, was 3A. And C is A minus 15. All equal to 180. Now we have an equation that we can solve. We'll start by simplifying, combining like terms. A plus 3A plus A is 5A minus 15 equals 180. Add 15 to both sides. We have 5A equals 195. I'm going to divide that by 5 on both sides, and A gives me 39 degrees. That's angle A. Angle B, remember we've got to find all three angles, that's what they asked us for, is 3A. So it'll be 3 times 39, which equals out to be 117 degrees. And C was A minus 15. So that equals out to be 24. If you want, you can take your calculator, add 39 plus 117 plus 24. You should get 180 degrees. And there's our 3 answers. So this has been Chapter 2 from the final review at the end of our textbook. Hopefully you've been able to review some topics from Chapter 2. This will help you to prepare.